The session is closed to the press, but what do we know so far about what's happening in there?
The judges said he hasn't found the smoking gun in the case, but Alphabet and Waymo, their self-driving car company's case here is very strong. He seems to be very convinced that Anthony Lewandowski, the head of Uber's now self-driving, or the former head, he's been slightly demoted, but the once head of Uber's self-driving car program, took these 14,000 files. What he's not clear on is whether Uber ever used them in a meaningful way, and that's essential for the trade secrets case. So on the one hand, pretty convinced he took them, but then if they didn't use them, that might not matter.
Why wouldn't it matter, though?
Because this suit is against Uber. It's not sort of it's not a criminal question about Lewandowski. He's not sort of the subject of this suit. So it's about whether Uber benefited from that alleged theft, and that's really the question in this case.
If Uber is forced to freeze its self-driving car efforts right now, how crippling would that be?
Definitely really bad for recruiting, bad for sort of this forward-looking vision. Uber, the sort of innovative technology company. And then there's just also sort of a timeline first to market, sort of there's this perception that there's advantage. On the other hand, Uber's still sort of trying to make its human driver business work. I think that the human driver business will be what powers Uber at an eventual IPO, and this self-driving car program is still far off. So it's fighting for its future identity, not really its identity in the next couple of years as it figures out exactly how the human driver business works.
Do we know anything about how the suit has impacted Uber's self-driving car unit so far? I mean, we know Anthony Lewandowski was slightly demoted, as you say, but is this impacting employees?
I think we're still watching. I mean, it was definitely coming up at all hands meetings within the advanced technologies group. People are asking, why is he still here? So I think people are asking questions and certainly watching it, but whether it sort of results in mass turnover, I don't think we've seen yet.
And to be clear, he co-founded the self-driving truck startup,
Right.
Auto, which Uber bought.
Right.
Talk to me a little bit about the history of this judge, because he's also weighed in on other cases involving Google, involving Oracle.
Right, he's sort of the guy in deciding these technical sort of big company versus big tech company fights, known for really studying up, getting in the weeds. He requested his name's Judge Alsup, and he requested sort of all this information on LiDAR, how it works, and he even had this note, I know this one technology, so make sure it's above this level. So he really tries to understand what these different technologies are, because he has to be able to sort out whether Uber did take anything meaningful from Waymo's LiDAR technology.
And Uber is trying very hard to keep this case from ever getting to a jury. What is the likelihood of that?
Right, so we still have this question of whether there's arbitration. Basically, Anthony Lewandowski agreed to arbitrate with Google, and if that would be the case, then everything would be kept quiet. And as you said, there was already a hearing right now that's closed to the press, so there's this question from the judge, if you guys want to hide everything, why do you really want to air this in public? Resolve an arbitration. And so that decision still needs to be made, and we don't know exactly what will happen.
Uber's had a lot going on while I've been on maternity leave. You've been very busy. I'm curious, have you found that all of the things, one after another, whether it's the sexual harassment case involving Susan Fowler, whether it's Amit Singhal, sexual harassment allegations, how is this impacting the company's brand?
Well, its brand's taken a serious hit. I think delete Uber, sort of the reaction to Trump was the biggest in terms of user backlash and sort of colored everything else. Employees have been very upset about the Susan Fowler case. And right now it's sort of a holding pattern. We're waiting for the former U.S. Attorney General, Eric Holder, to come out with this report.
Happening in May
end
now,
of this month, hopefully. And so I think Uber's been able to sort of fend off critics and employees saying, okay, we have this report coming, we're going to address all these big issues. And then at the same time, they're looking for a COO. If they fail on either front to deliver sort of meaningful change, I think we're going to see this open up again. Right now, we're sort of waiting for this court case, waiting for the CEO, waiting for Holder. We're waiting to see right now how Uber can recover.